Gentlemen, what is going on today? My name is Ryan Mickler. I'm your host and the founder of the Order of Man podcast and movement. Welcome here today and welcome back if you've been with us for some time. I've got a very short Friday field notes for you today. I just want to make sure that I reiterate the importance of measuring your progress, knowing exactly what you want to accomplish, and then having an active strategy and plan for making sure that you're accomplishing the thing. Before I get into it, just want to mention that we now have our battle planners back in the store. I've got mine right here. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this. I don't care if you use this. If this is a tool that will help you plan out your day, map out your day, measure your progress, measure your growth towards your goals, awesome. You can go to orderofman.com/TWBP as in 12-week battle planner. So that's orderofman.com/TWBP. You can get your leather-bound battle planner, or if you just need an insert for your planner that you already have, you can get that there as well. So with that said, I'm going to open this up, and I'm not sure if this is going to turn around for you guys on if you're watching YouTube or not, but you can see the quote right there on the top, and it says, "That which is measured improves." That's by Carl Pearson. That which is measured improves. Now look, guys, I talk with men every single day who want to improve elements and aspects of their lives. They want to get in shape. They want to rebuild their marriage. They want to have a marriage. They want to build their bank account. They want to go on trips and vacations. So many goals, lofty goals, noble goals and ambitions and desires. All of those things are good. But the amount of men who have a plan, who are actually measuring growth and progress towards that goal is a sliver. It's a fraction of a percent relative to the men who actually have ideas and dreams and goals. So as I said, this one's going to be a short one. Hopefully you'll take this advice and you'll implement it in your life. I know that anytime I document what's going on in my life, I naturally and inevitably get better at it. There's a challenge because some of us are really good at certain elements of our lives, and we think because we're good at it that we don't need to track it, that we don't need to evaluate, that we don't need to measure our progress. The problem with that is that you might actually achieve some level of success. And you might wonder, well, why is that a problem? I'm achieving what I want to achieve. Why is that a problem? It's a problem because you can't replicate it. So you might have struck gold that one time because of the current circumstances, factors outside of your control. Maybe it's certain things that you're good at that don't necessarily translate to other facets of life. And we lull ourselves into believing that just because we did it here by happenstance, it just worked out, that it will naturally translate over to this other facet of life. And the odds are it won't. I want a replicatable result. I want a process and a system that I can follow to the letter, to the T, to ensure that when I need to be a success in certain aspects of my life, I can just follow that system. And I can also look at when I'm not a success in life, or certain elements of my life fall apart or disintegrate, where exactly I went wrong. This is the value of measuring it and having a system, a tool like the battle planner or whatever you might be using to evaluate that. So again, that which is measured improves. Now, there is a challenge in some of these things because there are some goals and visions and dreams and objectives that men have that are hard to quantify. For example, one I hear a lot is, I want to be a better father, or I want to be a better husband. Worthy goal? Something noble to strive towards. But what exactly does that mean? How do you measure being a quote unquote better father or a better husband? Very intangible. It's a non-tangible. The best way to do that is to come up with a metric for it, is to begin to quantify it. Now, it might seem subjective, and that's okay, as long as you know that system works for you. So what can we measure, for example, as it relates to fatherhood? Well, one metric we can use is the amount of quality time. That's certainly a way to measure it. You could also measure the amount of time spent in activities engaged in what your kids are interested in. That's another metric. You could measure it in the amount of time that you've put in or hours that you've put in coaching your children's baseball teams, or the conversations that you've had, or maybe there's a project that you want to work on together. So for example, you say you want to be a better father. Well, is there an opportunity, maybe you're a woodworker, to build a piece of furniture together? Maybe you can build a bookcase together. Would that That's measurable, right? You know when it's done. You know how many hours you're going to put into it. You know the time that it's going to require and take. And is building that bookshelf with one or more of your children going to make you a quote unquote better father? I think all of us would agree, yes. Unless you let it get to you too much, because sometimes the help that we get when we build is not so helpful. But if you're doing it with the purpose of connecting with your children, then certainly you're going to have that on your mind and create, hopefully, a positive, memorable experience. If you want to get in shape, what exactly does that mean? Is it a certain body fat percentage? Is it a certain amount of weight that you want to lift? Is it a certain amount of time that you want to run with your mile? You know, do you want to hit a sub 7-minute or 6-minute mile? Okay, that's quantifiable. With your nutrition, you can count macros and you can count calories and you can break it all down into the macro and micronutrients, and that's certainly something you can do. I know that I use, and I don't use it religiously, but I know when I do use it, I'm better. It's called MyFitnessPal. So I use MyFitnessPal, and I'll go in here and I'll scan food that I have or enter the food, the weight, that sort of thing, into the app. Now, I don't do this religiously, but I know that when I do that, almost miraculously, I can get on the scale every morning and see myself shedding half a pound every single day because I track it. There's nothing else special that I do. Now, when I track it, I eat less because I'm aware of what I'm actually putting into my gullet. And that's the point of tracking. You become aware. What's really interesting about men is that we're delusional. We always think that we're better than we are. We always think that we're going to perform under pressure. One of the Navy SEAL mantras is, we don't rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our training. James Clear with Atomic Habits says, we don't rise to the level of our goals or objectives, we fall to the level of our systems. I'm paraphrasing that one. It's something like that. But the point is that you're not going to exceed just because you think you are, because you're delusional, as am I. You are not as good as you think you are. You are not doing as much as you think you are. You are not working as long as you could. You are not working as hard or efficiently or as smart as you otherwise could. And don't you want to know that? The sooner we can get clear with that, the better off we're going to be. As a previous financial advisor, it was always interesting to talk with people about their finances anecdotally. So I would say to them, on average, what would you say at the end of the month, how much money would you have left over? And let's say, hypothetically, a potential client would say, well, you know, looking at our budget and income, we'd probably have about $1,000 a month left over. Okay, $1,000 a month. And how long have you been doing that? We've been doing that for about a year. Okay, so if you're making $1,000 a month more and you're not spending that, and you've been doing it for a year, 12 months times 1,000, you should have $12,000 in that account. Can you show me that? Well, no, we don't have, because we spent it on this and we spent it on that. Okay, you're lying to yourself. You're not lying to me. I could care less. I'm not vested in your financial decisions. But you're lying to yourself. The only way to know if you're telling the truth is to actually look at the data and say, okay, here's the data. You know, I went and had my blood work done, and Johnny Loretti, he's my trainer and my fitness coach and my nutritionist and all these things. And he went through line by line with having this blood work done. And he said, here's where you're deficient. Here's where you're good. Here's what we need to improve on. Here's what vitamins or nutrients that we need to improve upon in your diet. Well, how does he have that information? Because it's in the data. It's not just, oh, I think it would be better. I don't know if it'll be better. It's quantifiable. It's measurable. So guys, my challenge for you this weekend is to take even just one aspect of your life, money, fitness, maybe it's your faith. How do you quantify faith? I want to have a deeper connection with God. How do you quantify that? You can make a scale. That would work. You can track how often you're reading scripture, for example, or praying, or attending church services, or listening to devotionals. Like, you could track those things. So I want you to take one element of your life, faith, your family, your friends, your money, your body, your bank account, your business, just one aspect of your life that you think you're underperforming, that you would like to see improve. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write down your goal. Get out a blank piece of paper, write down your goal. And if your goal can't be measured, you need to keep revisiting your goal. I want to be a better father. What does that mean? Okay, now you have, means I'm good to my kids and I spend time with them. Okay, good. You spend time with them. How much time with them exactly? Well, I spend 1 hour with my children every single day on something they're engaged with. Okay, got it. Now you know whether you're going to hit that metric or not. And trust me, you're going to, because we're achievers. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you weren't an achiever or had a desire to be one. And because you have something in front of you that you can quantify and you can measure, you're going to work towards that. Absolutely you are. Do not fly by the seat of your pants. If it works and you're flying by the seat of your pants, congratulations, you got lucky. Nothing more, nothing less. You might have tapped into a skill set, but you don't even know which one because you're not measuring it. I want you to be successful with prediction. I want you to be able to predict your success. And it is predictable. We know there's been enough people on this planet over enough time with enough social experiments that we know which behaviors create positive results. We know that. And we need to be precise with it. So go out there, figure out where you want to get better, break it down into actionable strategies or measurable tactics, and then start tracking it. You can use our battle planner. I talked about it earlier. I don't even care. I've got notepads everywhere. If you want to use a notepad, maybe there's an app on your phone. I'm sure there is. I don't have one because I use the planner, but there's probably free apps on your phone that you can get. You could, write it on the wall for all I care, like a prisoner who's carving out number of days that he's in prison for. I don't care. I just want you to measure it. Measure. As Carl Pearson says, that which is measured improves. I hope that serves you guys. Let me know what you're measuring. I would actually like to hear from you guys specifically on issues that are hard to quantify, like being a better husband. I want to have more intimacy with my wife. What does that mean? I want to be deeper connected with my kids. What does that mean? I want to be in better shape. What does that mean? I want to be wealthy. What does that mean? So I would love to hear from you guys on these non-tangibles and how you funneled and whittled them down into tangible, predictable steps and results. Okay? All right, guys. Big interview for you next week. Make sure you're subscribed. Check out the battle planner at orderofman.com/TWBP. And we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, go out there, take action, and become the man you are meant to be.